Hey, what is up? My fearless networking friend Todd Falcone here, back with another episode. Last week we talked about the idea of getting rid of this concept of prospecting reluctance, getting into this avoidance procedure. We always keep doing other things, but with the one thing that we know we should be doing, which actually brings me to this episode today, which is the concept of inviting, right? But by the way, I don't want to assume anything. And by the way, some things are worth repeating, and this subject matter today is absolutely worth repeating. If you don't know this, because I don't know who's watching me or listening to me, the truth is that the single most important activity in network marketing, period, end of story. And if you want to argue with me, if you're an experienced networker, I'd love to hear that you have a different opinion. I would, we can have a little chat back and forth. But from my experience, the one thing that makes the biggest difference is in inviting or exposing. So if we're not inviting people to take a look at our products or our business, or exposing people to our products or our business, then we're really not doing the fundamental activity that's going to lead to the other responsibilities that we'll have in growing a network marketing organization. Like if you can't put a person in, or if you're not doing the actions to put a person onto your products or into your business, then you're not going to ever have the responsibility of leading a team or working with people or launching someone, because you've never put anybody in. So it is the fundamental activity that is going to now and will always be that revenue producer. That's the thing, like that personal momentum that you're creating through inviting, through exposing, is something that you should never stop doing. So the question is, and I kind of alluded to this a little bit last week, but I'm going to be a little more specific on this one. So, okay, how do we get good at the invite? Okay, how do we get good at asking the question, right? What is an invite? I'm inviting you to take a look. An invite might be, hey, John, I launched this new business. I'm super excited about it. I'm all in on this thing. I think it's going to be absolutely huge. I love you to death. I think, we could work great together. I'd love for you to take a peek at what I'm doing. If I sent you this video, would you do me a favor and take a peek at it? That's a potential invite, right? And again, I don't have any script in front of me. That just came out of, whatever, out of my brain. Or, as you guys probably know, a very simple peak interest question. Hey, do you keep your options open at all in terms of making money outside of what you're currently doing? That's an invite, right? You're asking a question, right? You're asking a question. Do you at all keep your options open in terms of making money outside of what you're currently doing as a real estate professional? That would be considered an invite. And invites can come in many shapes and sizes and forms and different ways of wording it. And I'm not going to go into every different invite. That's, there's a lot of different ways. I could sit here and off the cuff just kind of switch things around, change things around, and do 57 probably different invites. But I don't think you need 57 of them. You probably just need the semblance of a conversation that's going to help you, kind of figure it out. For example, when most network marketers get started, I have a fast start training, boom, I'm going to give you some sample invites. Why do I do that? Because a brand new person is excited, but they're new and they've never done it before, so they don't know what to do or how to do it. It's okay, this is cool, makes sense to me, but who do I talk to and what the heck do I say? That's why we provide some basic fundamental training when somebody gets started brand new in a network marketing business. So we're giving them the words, not because, I had an owner, and I referenced this probably about 10 weeks ago on another episode, but I had an owner one time, I was sitting next to him and he's like, man, you're really into scripts. And I go, why do you say that? He said, well, you have your script book. And I'm like, yeah, I got my script book, my little black book of scripts, but he's like, well, you're really into scripts. I'm like, no, I'm not actually really into scripts. I'm into results. That's it. I'm into helping somebody get results. It's not I'm like, hey, I love scripts. It's just, if I can give you a script, which is basically the template of a conversation, the concept of a conversation, then you're going to be able to kind of see how, what a conversation might look like. And I can give you guidance in that conversation so that you can then be able to, maybe at first be reading from the script, which I did early on. I was like literally reading from a script. Hi, is John in, please? Yeah, this is John. Hey, John, this is Todd Falcone. I'm calling you because you were just on one of my websites asking for information about how to make money from home. Is that correct? Yes, no, or no, whatever. And I had a script. But the thing is, I practiced the script so that my invites didn't sound mechanical. I remember last week I was like ending the episode, I think, and I was like, It was funny. I was on stage one time, like in Florida, and I was talking about invites, and occasionally you do stuff on stage, and make stuff up as you're doing something. And I remember it was like the girl in the back of the room. She was like laughing at me afterwards because I got up there and I was like, okay, so you don't want to sound like this. Hi, my name is Todd Falcone. I am calling you because your name was referred to me as someone that might want to make some money from home like a robot. And she was like busting up afterwards. I was like, you should do that again. That was hilarious. And I was like, whatever. But you don't want to sound like that. You want to sound fluid. You want to sound like you're not reading from a script. And the way you do that, I mentioned this last week, is if you practice the script over and over again, you're going to be able to make it fluid. I don't do this a lot of times, like on these episodes, but the first sales script that I was given was like over 30 years ago. And it was a Spanish script selling cable television door to door. And I literally was given the script from my guy that was teaching me how to sell cable television, because he only sold to Spanish speaking people. And he goes, you need to memorize the script. So I literally memorized the script. And it was like, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but hola, yo soy de cable televisión, vamos a venir a hacer todas personas aquí con el cable, damos un mes de prueba, si le gusta le deja, si no le gusta todo es gratis, el HBO es mitad de precio por 2 meses. And I'm not going to finish it, but that, it wasn't like, hola, yo soy del cable televisión, vamos a venir. I memorized it so it became fluid. And I literally, that was like a canned sales script that I used knocking on doors selling cable television. But I practiced that thing over and over and over and read it quietly, read it out loud. I got it to a point, I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to waste your time or mine, but I could literally go from the first word all the way to the end of it, and that was the exact same script, and it's like 38 years later that I have that exact same script memorized in my head, because that was a couple lessons. Number one, I had a guy that was willing to teach me something and teach me the way he did it. And I didn't reinvent the wheel. I did it the way he told me to do it. And he and I were number 1 and number 2 on the leaderboard every single week. He had a better way of doing it, And so, how you get, the other thing is, if you observe other people, if you observe somebody who's really good at something, you can learn so much from observation. So if any opportunity that you have to be around somebody like your expert, or somebody that is a top recruiter in your company, and you can work side by side or just watch them, that's another thing. Or very, very early on in my network marketing career, the very beginning, there was a guy in my office that was, he was 27, I was 22. He was making money, I wasn't. We were relatively in the same age. But he had something I didn't have. He had some success. I had nothing. I don't know how much he was making. I think it was 10, 12 grand a month at the time, but I was making nothing. And I just watched him. I would sit at my desk and I watched, I'd use my ears, and I would listen to what he said to his prospects, and I would listen to the questions he asked or how he spoke to his prospects. And I literally did my best to mirror that behavior. I did my best to almost to the point where there were mannerisms that were not mine that I was adopting from this guy way back in the day. It was I was more copycatting him, which is fine. I did that until I kind of could be me and just be myself, because I was literally taking mannerisms that were almost unnatural mannerisms for me, that were natural for him, while I was modeling that behavior early on. But you can get good at the invite, but you need to do it. So you can't get good at the thing that you never do. You guys have heard me say that before. So okay, if you never invite anybody, how do you ever have an opportunity to get good at inviting? You don't, because you've never invited anybody. But if you can get in the habit of inviting, then, you can go, okay, well, that sucked, and I didn't do that good, that great this time, but I go back, I can do it differently this time. Again, I've said this many times too, the whole idea of recording yourself. If you record yourself, then you can listen back to yourself, and you can make little changes. And then if you have an expert or a pro that you work with that's really good and that has way more experience than you do, they can listen to what you're doing, and they can give you feedback that you're never going to even find on your own if you're a novice. It's like an amateur golfer that's looking at their golf swing and trying to analyze their golf swing. Very different than having a pro golfer analyze an amateur's golf swing. It's the same concept. So there's a lot of things that you can do, but you have to decide for yourself, like, do I think inviting is important? I don't know that there's anybody here, and I don't think that anybody who's been in network marketing for a week can say that inviting is not important. It is the fundamental activity that's going to lead to everything in this business. New customers, new reps, and those new reps is going to lead to other responsibilities like launching and leading and team building and all the other things that only you will have that opportunity to do if you're able to invite people and get them into your product or on using your product or service or into your business. So practice, record yourself, observation of others. If you need to follow a script for a little bit until the conversation becomes comfortable, and then you can basically blur your eyes and the script is in front of you, but you're really not reading the script because you don't need to anymore because you've done it so many times. So if you do something over and over again, and I'll leave you this, I promise you, and I said this last week, if you just keep doing it over and over again and you keep working on it and you're like, I'm committed to getting good at this, then eventually you're going to get good at it. You're not going to have what I talked about last week, prospecting reluctance, and you're going to be really comfortable inviting. Like inviting somebody is like no big deal, and that's really honestly that's a position you want to be in, as where prospecting is no big deal. It's like it's something I do every day. I love doing it, and I know it's leading me to new reps and new customers. It's great. So just some tips for you, YouTubers. Love you guys. What's up, YouTube? My folks that are listening to me on my podcast, love you guys on audio. Love it if you would give my podcast a rating if you like it. Give me a thumbs up or a rating. That would be beautiful. And then the rest of the details on this episode, other stuff. In fact, I mentioned my script book. I mean, if you don't have my little black book of scripts and you're struggling with what to say, I'll make sure my team puts a link in here and you can figure out if you want to check that out. But the details on this episode, toddfalcone.com/episode 202. TODDFALCONE.com/episode 202. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time.